Oh boy, crypto's having one of those dramatic woe is me days again. Check out these spicy price movements. XRP just hit $2.94, and you know what? After hodling this baby for 7.5 years, I'm practically doing a happy dance. I've been waiting forever to see XRP at these levels. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's chilling at $112,952. But apparently, since we're seeing some red candles, everyone's losing their minds. Suddenly, it's doomsday central out there. People are acting like the financial apocalypse has arrived, reality has broken, and we're living in some upside-down universe where dogs are teaching cats how to fetch. What's next? Pineapple pizza becoming universally loved? But seriously, folks, this is all just theatrical nonsense. The crypto drama queens are out in full force today. We're not plummeting into the abyss forever, people. Time for everyone to grab some herbal tea and chill out. This whole scenario, totally predictable. If you've been listening to the smart money, sure. One analyst threw out that XRP might kiss $2.65, and we're nowhere near that party yet. But here's the kicker. Loads of analysts have been basically screaming from the rooftops that we'd likely see these exact price ranges for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. This pullback has been brewing like a slow-cooked stew for weeks. Anyone who's been actually paying attention shouldn't be clutching their pearls right now. Real talk, this dip is about as scary as a puppy in a Halloween costume. These market corrections have been crypto's signature move for 16 solid years during bull runs. The big picture story hasn't changed one bit. We're still absolutely rocket shipping toward that insane final act. You know, that moment that's coming when everyone's convinced crypto is their personal money printing machine and prices will levitate forever. Yeah, that euphoric madness before the inevitable reality check. But here's the golden ticket. It's during that wild ride to the moon where regular folks can grab life-altering wealth. That opportunity isn't just wishful thinking. History keeps proving it over and over again. The show's just getting started, my friends. I've gathered thoughts from 10 different people who study XRP charts. This whole video is going to focus completely on XRP and what these experts think is happening. But first, I need to say something important. I'm not a money expert or financial advisor. I'm just sharing what other people are saying about XRP. Don't buy or sell anything just because of what I tell you. Always make your own decisions with your money. Now, let's see what these chart watchers have to say. I'm recording this on Friday, August 1st, 2025, and wow, prices are really low right now. People are calling this the gutter, but honestly, I'm absolutely loving it. Here's the thing. All you have to do is hold on to your coins for however long it takes, and if you bought enough, you're going to get rich, and you don't even need to buy crazy amounts. That's just how crypto works. It can grow so much that patience really pays off. Now, if you're worried that we've hit the peak and it's all downhill from here, let me give you some perspective. You need to think like someone who invests for the long haul. I don't think we're heading into a bear market right now, though we definitely will eventually. But here's something that should make you feel better about the whole situation. If this doesn't help you relax, then maybe you need to rethink how you're approaching crypto investing. Even if we did enter a bear market, guess what? You still have the same amount of XRP, Bitcoin, or whatever coins you're holding. That number doesn't change. You get to keep holding those coins. If we're in a bear market, we'll hang out there for a few years and you'll have time to buy even more at cheaper prices. Then, like always happens, the market will bounce back. Maybe it takes several years, which would be totally normal. Maybe another 4 years. Then we get to ride the wave again, and it'll probably go even higher than before. If that's the worst thing that could happen based on what we've seen before, you still end up rich. It just takes a little longer than you hoped, but you still get to be ridiculously wealthy. If that's the worst case scenario, is that really worth getting upset about? You absolutely have to think long-term when you're investing or you're going to have a rough time. Don't make the wrong moves at the wrong time, you know? Anyway, the market dropped as low as $2.90 for XRP, and Bitcoin hit $112,440 right before I started recording this. Here's a great post from Credible Crypto that really puts things in perspective. You'll notice something about the analysts I follow. These folks have been around the crypto block for years, and days like today don't even make them blink. They totally get that this stuff just doesn't matter in the long run. So here's what Credible Crypto shared. The recent price action has finally given me enough to work with for a new market update video, and I'm excited to put that together. In the meantime, here are some quick thoughts I'll dive deeper into in the video. First, the bull market is nowhere near over, not even close. Second, this Bitcoin dip might look scary if you're staring at short-term charts, but when you zoom out to the big picture, it's really not that significant. So don't stress too much about what's happening right now. Third, a bunch of the altcoins I keep an eye on are hitting some really sweet spots for buying. Low risk with high reward potential. Right now, I'd focus on alts because this chance to load up at great prices might not last much longer. There you have it. He totally sees this as a shopping opportunity. And here's the thing, I've been mentioning this in several videos over the past week. Credible Crypto actually warned us about this possibility. He called it a triple tap pattern. Bitcoin had hit certain levels multiple times over several months, and he thought it made sense that we could see Bitcoin drop to exactly where we are right now. So of course, he's not panicking. He knows this follows historical patterns and chart setups. That's all this is, completely healthy market behavior. This pullback we're experiencing is going to end. What's happening right now is actually good for the market's health, but it's temporary. We're obviously not going to stay down here forever. There's also this post from Credible Crypto from this afternoon. He said, might be time to start zerping again soon, XRP. Now that's a term you don't hear much these days, at least not on X. Back when I got into crypto in 2017, everyone called XRP ZERP. It was totally normal. It's actually pretty cool to see that pop up again. I like it when the old school terms make a comeback. But honestly, a lot of newer people have no clue what that even means anymore. If you've been around for a few years though, you probably remember. Anyway, what he's basically saying is that it might be time to buy more XRP. He's eyeing specific altcoins, including XRP, and thinking this looks like a low risk opportunity compared to where prices were just a few days ago. Low risk, high reward. That's how he's seeing the current situation. Then there's the blockchain backer. His latest video is absolutely worth watching if you haven't seen it yet. I think it's around 10 or 11 minutes long, really solid stuff. There are just a couple of things I wanted to highlight from it, and this lines up perfectly with what I keep hearing from the top chart analysts out there. He explains that XRP is just going through a completely normal correction pattern right now. He breaks it down really well in his video with all the technical details. You can dive into his video for all the detailed explanations. I'm not going to repeat his whole analysis here, but let me share the key takeaways. He's saying that XRP dropping after hitting that sweet 3D65 all-time high is just standard crypto behavior. His take, once XRP bounces back above somewhere between 320 and 330, he'll feel confident that this pullback is done and we're ready to climb again. He also threw in a little "I told you so" moment. Weeks back, he mentioned it would be totally normal to see Bitcoin dip to that $112,000 to $114,000 zone for a correction, and boom, here we are. So yeah, he's not losing any sleep over this. This guy was basically on the same wavelength as Credible Crypto with these predictions. Both nailed it pretty well. As of right now, while I'm recording, their price calls have been pretty spot on. Make of that what you will. But this is exactly the kind of sharp analysis I've learned to expect from these folks. They really know their stuff. So this dip played out just like they thought it might, and guess what? Neither of them is hitting the panic button. They're both expecting what comes next to be a massive rocket ship ride back up. Here's the funny part though. When he first mentioned that $112,000 target, everyone was riding high and feeling invincible. Bitcoin was chilling comfortably above 120,000. People were probably thinking, this guy's crazy. Why would we ever fall that far? That's classic human behavior right there. But here's the thing. This roller coaster action is just crypto being crypto. It's been the same story for 16 years running. So when the crypto market does its usual crypto market thing, don't act all surprised and terrified. This is literally what you signed up for when you got into this space. Actually, it would be strange if crypto didn't do this wild stuff. The crazy price swings don't just disappear because you bought some coins and now you want them to moon. That's not how any of this works. Honestly, I'm here for the volatility. That's the whole point of investing. You want that price movement. And being in the most unpredictable asset class on earth, yes, absolutely sign me up. I'm genuinely thrilled to be part of this madness. Super, super happy about it. But anyway, back to his analysis. Once he sees Bitcoin climb back above $120,000, he thinks that'll probably be enough evidence to feel confident that this correction is basically done. Oh, and here's the exciting part. He literally said that when this market starts going back up, it's going to be epic. That's his exact word, epic. So we're talking about the kind of insane, straight up parabolic price action with all the fireworks you could imagine. And that includes XRP too. He's been crystal clear about that part. Here's a post from chart analyst Crypto Wizard. He's targeting $145,000 for Bitcoin. He says, when everyone else was being negative, I called the bottom and shouted about $120,000. And look, it happened. If Bitcoin can push through $120,000, the next big target on the higher time frames is $145,000. Now, this really got my attention because that price level matches exactly what Blockchain Backer mentioned in his video. He said if Bitcoin can climb back above 120,000, that would be enough proof for him that this correction is finished. Then you'd see the upward move resume. And here's Crypto Wizard saying something very similar. Hit that key level, and then on the big picture timeframes, Bitcoin heads to 145,000. Yes, please. I'll absolutely take that trade all day long. Here's what chart analyst Cryptos posted this morning about XRP. He's studying the XRP USD chart and says, getting a weekly close above $3.27 would be absolutely amazing and super bullish for XRP. But first, we'd need to see a daily close above $3.14 to even set that up. Now, here's another one of those moments where looking at our current 294 to 295 price, tons of people are probably thinking, are you kidding me? How on earth do we magically teleport from here to $3.27? That sounds completely impossible. I'm not going to try and guess whether it'll actually play out, but here's what I know. Yeah, moves like this absolutely can happen. They're actually pretty common in crypto. The speed at which prices can move in this space is just insane. We're talking ridiculously, mind-blowingly fast action. You might sit through weeks of absolutely nothing, just flat, boring price movement that makes you want to fall asleep. Then out of nowhere, bam, a coin explodes upward by something ridiculous like 1,000%. And here's the kicker. XRP has pulled off exactly these kinds of wild moves before. Just something to keep in mind, people. Here's a post from Crypto Insight UK with an XRP USD chart up on screen. He says, we didn't quite get the monthly confirmation we were looking for on either Ethereum or XRP, but man, we were really close. This tells us we're not in full-blown bull season just yet. We're still basically knocking on the door, waiting to get in. So it's still coming, but I'm feeling good about what's ahead. Obviously, nothing's really changed about the bigger picture here. Here's a post from chart analyst Dom at TraderView2 from this morning. An XRP update. He says a monthly close caused a breakdown below the $3 zone, and we dropped down to the high 280s. I think the lowest I spotted was around 289 when I was recording this. Then he adds, the bulls are fighting to hold this level since we haven't seen any real acceptance below it yet. I'm staying careful until we can get back above 312. That would confirm we're moving in the right direction again. So there's his key level to watch. You'll notice different chart analysts will give you slightly different key levels to keep an eye on before they think we start heading back up. That's exactly why it's smart to get takes from multiple solid chart analysts. Like I always say, the real truth and what's most likely to happen usually sits somewhere in the middle when you're following a bunch of reliable, skilled analysts who have proven track records. Either way, the best stuff is still coming our way. Here's a post from chart analyst Galaxy with an XRP USD chart. He says, XRP, don't forget, we just broke out of the 200+ day bullish flag. A retest is totally healthy for the long-term trend. Absolutely right. It's completely normal and expected to see a pullback and retest after a huge breakout like this. Check out his chart pattern. He's got this classic flag and uptrend diagram. Look at that setup, then look at what's actually happening with XRP on the left side of the chart. They're pretty much identical. That's exactly what he's saying is playing out right now. This kind of stuff just happens all the time. It's totally normal market behavior, not worth getting all worked up about. Here's a post from chart analyst The Great Matsby with an XRP USD chart. He says XRP is currently building a solid foundation at its 886 Fibonacci level as we speak, getting ready to launch. So here's another analyst who's been in the game for way longer than 5 minutes. His reaction, oh yeah, this is perfect. We're building support right here, and it's about to go absolutely wild. Yep, that's exactly right. And get this, he posted this when XRP was at $3.05 this morning. It's dropped even more since then, and his attitude is still, oh, this is going to be amazing though. Now that's the right way to think about it. That's the smart, logical approach. It's just not how most regular retail investors think when they see red numbers everywhere, but it absolutely is the correct mindset. It's the one that actually makes sense. Here's what chart analyst Javon Marx posted. He's saying XRP's technical target is still sitting at $4.80. He threw this up last night and his outlook hasn't budged. XRP was already doing its volatile thing and had dipped by yesterday anyway. Today's price movement clearly isn't shifting his analysis one bit. Here's a post from chart analyst CW with an XRP chart. He says, the overall market is bouncing back after Bitcoin filled that CME gap. XRP is also starting to rebound from the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. Next stop is $4.70, which hits the 1.618 Fibonacci level. He posted this morning when XRP was at $3.02. Since then, it's dropped just a tiny bit below that level, but whatever, no big deal. It's just building a solid foundation, people. All of this is completely typical market behavior. So there was this interesting post from chart analyst Greg Crypto, and he was pointing out that we might be looking at a significant pullback coming our way. Now, this is pretty noteworthy when you think about it. We just hit that all-time high not too long ago. Feels like it's been over a week now, sitting pretty at $3.65. So seeing it drop below $3, yeah, I'm sure some folks are feeling pretty rough right now, especially anyone who jumped in near the top. But here's the thing I always come back to. This stuff is totally normal in the crypto world. It really is. If you can't handle these swings, well, maybe crypto isn't your cup of tea, or perhaps you just need some time to get comfortable with it. Plenty of people eventually do. Here's what really helps though. When you dig deeper into research and start understanding how crypto typically moves and how people react to it, that knowledge can be incredibly reassuring. There are definitely ways to navigate this better. What he mentioned here is spot on. These short-term moves are basically designed to shake out the newcomers. But looking at the bigger picture over the next 2 to 3 months, he's still bullish as ever. And here's another respected chart analyst who actually nailed the call on XRP breaking out this market cycle. What's really telling is that you're seeing this same outlook across the board from analysts like Greg Crypto. None of them are panicking because, frankly, it doesn't make any logical sense to think everything's just going to collapse from here. Look, nobody has a crystal ball. That's always worth remembering. But what seems most likely? Well, history has this funny way of repeating itself. We're probably heading toward one of those massive parabolic blow-off tops for Bitcoin. You know, that final epic surge that usually caps off each cycle. And here's the thing about pullbacks like what we're seeing now, they're incredibly normal along the way. Take the 2017 bull run, for example. If I'm remembering correctly, there were about 6 or 7 major pullbacks during that run. I want to say 7. And we're talking drops of over 30% each time. Some were even steeper than that. I think 1 or 2 might have hit over 40%. I'd need to double check those exact numbers, but that's roughly what we saw. So what's happening now? It's textbook normal. Actually, it's way calmer compared to back then, which totally makes sense. As more money flows into crypto with each cycle, you naturally see less wild volatility over time. So compared to 2017, this current situation is pretty tame, yet people are still freaking out. But here's the thing, panicking right now just doesn't make logical sense. You should actually feel incredibly fortunate. You should be counting your blessings that you discovered crypto and XRP and that you got your money in before the rest of the world catches on. Think about it, almost nobody on this planet has ever bought any crypto, but here you are early in 2025. So here's what I'm getting at. If you can just let time do its thing, if you've got diverse enough exposure and you're not throwing money at a bunch of garbage coins, maybe stick with large caps that actually have a solid chance of succeeding long term, then yeah, you've got a real opportunity here. We all do. The ball's in our court now. We just can't blow this chance. That's exactly why I keep hammering this point home with you. Want to know the secret sauce? It's actually pretty straightforward. Spread your bets across the whole crypto space, invest an amount that'll actually move the needle when it grows, and then practice some serious patience. Whatever timeline we're looking at, and let's be real, for most of us, it's going to be a multi-year journey. You stay the course and watch that life-changing money materialize. That's literally it. This stuff is legit. Here's the kicker though. This is precisely why you won't find me pushing some expensive masterclass on you. The strategy genuinely is this uncomplicated. Sure, we could get lost in all the technical weeds and there's tons more we could unpack. But when you strip it all down, this is your game plan. So listen, I want you feeling pumped right now. Our biggest wins are still coming down the pipeline. That's what I'm betting on, and I think the odds are strongly in our favor. Just got to throw this out there though. I'm nowhere near being a financial advisor, so don't go making any buy or sell decisions based on my rambling here. That would be an absolutely terrible idea.